Alright, everybody, welcome back. Another exciting show going on for you guys. This is Brian from thelegalelbow.com.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook.
Tonight we got a stacked show for you guys. Stick around, take a seat,
grab a brew,
and get settled in, man, because we're going for a ride right now.
Yes, brother. Get on your Harley, man, and go across the Pacific.
Oh, yeah!
Rising from the ashes like the proverbial phoenix.
Toronto subject. I really honestly think that's straight ahead, just a fucking total rumor. Because I listened to the...
it's complete and total ego.
I don't know if you saw the Facebook post earlier, but I saw the other night on the post-fight press conference, Dana's like, I think somebody started something on the internet. He's like, I have not talked to her. He's like, the only thing I know about anything that's going on with her is she has 4 fights left on her Strikeforce contract. It's like, that's the only thing I know about her that's going on. Not to say it's concrete or, he's even telling the truth. Who knows? Maybe he's not saying anything about it just yet. Who knows?
All I hear him is talking. That's all I've heard him do so far.
It just really don't seem to me. I mean, if he's saying that, then that means they haven't put any press out about it.
So, well, the thing that really sucks is fucking Joe Rogan's going to get on there too, just fucking horn about, by Thursday we should have an answer or whatever. That was last fucking week.
Right.
So.
Right, which is pretty fucked up. So that means we should have had some news a couple days ago then, by Thursday. So then we haven't heard shit, and here we are, three days after. We still haven't heard shit about it. And I honestly believe Dana when it comes to that.
You know what?
Whether
Fuck
it
your
was
mistake.
something that he wanted to, or maybe he did talk to her and she wanted nothing to do with it. I don't think Dana would shy away from saying, no, you know what, I talked to her, she wants nothing to do with it. So he decided to take away the fucking announcement or whatever. I think there's some stuff that Dana doesn't say because it's a little bit of save face, too. You know what I mean? About something that he might have talked about and wanted to bring it to the masses, but then when they got everything settled and figured out, okay, I don't want to fucking talk about it. You know what I mean? That kind of a deal. I think there are those situations. Just throwing it out there, people. If you guys go to Spreaker.com and search Illegal Elbow Radio, you can download any show you want that we've done in the past. So if you guys are interested in, hey man, you can take the show with you. You don't even have to listen to it. You can download it, take the show with you to work or in your car or whatever. Download the MP3, whatever format they got going on there. It should be MP3. I upload them as MP3, so it's whatever format you're going to download, man. Take it with you on your music player, whatever you got, your iPod, and take it with you, man. Check it out and tell your friends too. Word of mouth is the best thing to help us out, man. So,
oh yeah,
tell them.
We're start doing some YouTube stuff too, so check that out.
Yeah, it's a slow-moving process right now, man, 'cause we're both busy as all get out, but it will get there. Hopefully in the next month. But yeah, I mean, the way Gustafsson looked last night, and I don't want to get too far into it, man. I had happened to come and picture happened to jump in front of me here as I'm looking on the net. He looked in as good as he can look, man. Nothing's.
This guy is dangerous.
Nothing fell off this guy, I'll tell you that. He's definitely in line to jump right back into it with Jones.
And you were saying that, it was like a whole... I didn't get to see the matches, but I see the ending of the Gus Manuwa. But you said that all of a sudden it was a ho-hum, figuring the guy out, and you're like, okay, it's time to go. And he just, from what I see in the highlight of the flurry, I guess, he just, from that point on, he just went off. He wasn't like that for the whole fight. So.
No, he was good throughout the whole fight, and Manuwa was landing some good shots as well. You know what I mean? It looked to be a pretty good fight, which Gustafsson had a takedown right out the gate. Had a takedown, kind of, worked on him a little bit, just grinding. You know what I mean? Grinding. It was exciting, though. It's not like he was just loafing around and laying on him. Jockeying for position, you know what I mean? And try to, and that was my kind of prediction. It was like, okay, he's trying to get him there, kind of wear him out a little bit, so that when he gets up, it's not going to be so easy to throw bombs and whatnot. So, And sure enough, I mean, going into the second round, it's like I don't know if he just wanted to play like play possum, like kind of like Carwin with Mir. Okay, we're gonna go this way. We're gonna go this way because I know what you're gonna do, and and then all of a sudden just explode. I mean, that's kind of what it was like. I mean, not in the Carwin fashion. I'm not gonna say that, but it's just out of nowhere. He's just like, okay, I'm charging forward and I'm fucking, I'm grabbing the back of his neck and he's gonna receive a knee. And once he received that knee was the beginning of the end. He felt that knee. His head went backwards, and he just totally went for uppercuts, hooks, and he probably landed 3 out of the barrage that he threw, and that was enough. 3, maybe 4 out of the barrage that he threw. He probably threw 8 punches, and he fell down like a sandbag. Not ragging on the guy. I mean, Manuwa had a decent chin, but it's just like it just got pounded a good few times.
Keep it real, all right.
Kind of just a little bit of buckling under the pressure there, man, and he went down. As soon as he went down, the first thing he did was 2 hammer fist. Looked like as soon as Overeem hit the deck, how Brown went in there and just hammered him. That's what it looked like. Head bouncing off the cage, 2 big shots, and it was like, okay, he's not going to get his way out of this. This is over with. You know what I mean? It was, the ref jumped in and was like, okay, I've seen 2 huge hammer shots. This is over. This guy's, and there's no way I'd have seen him getting out of that.
Gus is ready, man.
He's absolutely exhausted.
He's got the hunger. I've seen a lot of people posting shit on there about here. Jones, I want you. It's my time now. I'll take you out. This and that, all this. That's fine. But if they go again, it's going to be another clash where it's going to go right down to the end again, man. They're that equally matched, these 2 fighters are. And yeah, Gus, you're always going to lose. You're always going to learn something from your loss. But
so is Jones.
Exactly. And
yep.
Everybody's going to be looking for them to lock horns. I don't know if this doesn't say he's an automatic rematch for Bones Jones. He might have to fight again. No, Dana confirmed it. Oh, did he?
Yep.
Okay.
Whether he changes his fucking mind or his underwear tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Get everybody hyped up and then say, you know what, I just took a shit and I changed my mind.
He's got to win.
Like you said, change my underwear.
But it came out today. As far as I know, it came out today that he said, Gustafsson will take on the winner of Teixeira Jones. And I would be fucking shocked if Teixeira were to beat Jones, because Teixeira almost got dropped by Ryan Bader. And Ryan Bader would have no business being in there with John Jones.
No.
So, and that's a little bit of math. People know about that, but, you can't always do the math, but, I mean, just look at it. I mean, look at Teixeira. Teixeira almost got dropped by, what is that guy's name? I fucking always forget his name. Fabio Maldonado fucking just about dropped his ass. And Ryan Bader just about dropped his ass. What do we think that John Jones is going to do to this guy? John Jones is going to molest this guy.
Yeah. He's got a puncher's chance, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's sketchy. That's if John Jones puts his fucking neck out there, and we don't see that happening.
Put the pin in your hand.
He's going to use his length. He's going to use his fucking, his fucking kicks to keep him off.
I mean, Jones is really...
if Teixeira gets up against that fence, because he's going to feel some fucking knees that he don't want to feel.
No. And, who's to say, nobody's fucking really thrown some serious body shots on him. There's been a lot of guys in MMA lately that have been really landing some nasty body shots, and dudes are hitting decks, man.
Mm-hmm.
These guys haven't been feeling this shit, and all of a sudden it's come out of the woodwork. These guys are hitting decks because it's like, holy shit, I've never felt that. All people are always headhunting. You know what I mean? So now people are getting real...
liver shots and shit like that.
Yeah. People are getting
shut down your body.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, I'm just saying, like you're saying, they're almost training for it. They're training for that shot, to hit that shot, man, that fucking red button shot where it shuts you off.
Yeah. And it seems like it's a, I don't know, I don't want to say it's a new thing, but it's not a new thing with kicks, but it seems like it's a new thing with MMA-style boxing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a lot of technical, really good boxers when it comes to MMA. I mean, guys that, sweet science and all that shit, and landing the shot in the right spot and all that. I think we're getting to the point where they are figuring out. They got the right coaches to help them with that shit. But I wanted to make one quick point here where I thought it was almost kind of candy-ass and corny. But John Bones Jones tweeted, why not give the winner of Alexander and DC the winner of myself and Glover?
Interesting reaction.
Why does he want Alexander Gustafsson to go through another fight before he gets to fight him? I think Dana probably, if anything, put that match on just because John Jones said that. Dana already told him, dude, you're not a matchmaker.
Yeah.
You don't make matches. We do.
Yeah. No, how about this? One better. Why don't you call Dana up instead of going public and tweeting it? Why don't you call him up on the fucking phone and say, hey, man, I was mulling over some shit, and I didn't want to go public with it because it'll look like I'm one-upping you. But you can take all the credit for this, dude. But how about this? No, he couldn't fucking do that, so guess what?
Scott Crooker.
No matter if it was a good idea or not, Dana is going to say, fuck you, dude. And like you said, that's probably why he fucking announced it, because you're not going to one-up the fucking Don, the king dictator, the
right.
egotistical, maniacal Dana. Fuck
right.
that shit.
You got one ego battling another ego, and one of them is the dictator of the two. So you're not going to win, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. John Bones Jones, UFC is not going to want to lose John Bones Jones, of course, but I don't know what the contract says and all that crap.
The leader fought a good fight tonight.
I mean, if John Jones' contract were to come up and he is the champion, he could do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, they don't want to lose him, so I think, in a sense, he probably feels like he has a little bit of that advantage in his pocket, you know what I mean? Just to point out and say whatever I want to say and call the fights I want to have and shit like that. To me, personally, I thought, why do you want Alexander to take out DC? You and DC had a beef for a little while there. Why don't you take out DC after you take on Alexander?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why don't you?
Comers, fucking take on all comers, man.
Yeah, you just don't. It sounds like you don't want to see fucking Gus right now. You don't want to see Gus. That's what I'm coming with.
Yeah,
fucking Gus is going to be fresh because he just disposed his prey, and now he's staring right at you.
Yeah.
And you might have to go through a war with Texture. You don't know. But guess what?
I know you have a lot of questions. I don't
Gus
have
is
too many
fucking going to be
answers.
watching you, and he's going to be watching what the fuck you do. So it's going to be, because we both see him disposing of Textura, but it's setting up for, I don't know when this next fight's going to be, probably in July or fucking later than that. Who knows?
I think it is. I think there's a date with Textura and Jones. Pretty sure.
No, I'm not talking about. Yeah, there's a date.
You mean the one
about.
after?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Whenever the fuck that's going to happen, Yeah, it's April 26th, man.
Okay, geez, that's next month, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
That's like a month and a month and 2 weeks away.
Before that, the weekend before that is fucking Verdum versus Brown,
Dude.
and that's a freebie live on Fox.
I'm
Which
telling you, dude, we have. Sorry, I cut you off, but we have probably the next couple weeks, and it's almost. I mean, with doing the show and working and whatnot, it's almost like overwhelming because there's so much good shit coming up, including last night. This past Saturday night was kick-ass. You know what I mean?
Shit's about to get heated.
Yeah, it's getting
and
heated.
Guess what? Guess what? March 15th, fucking Henderson versus Lawler. So we got that one coming up,
That's
followed by
huge.
fucking Shogun versus Hendo. Which you could say, hey, that's fucking has been central, but who doesn't want to watch that fucking fight, dude?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'll be fucking watching that fucking fight. But it's in Brazil again, so, After that, we're going to fucking Abu Dhabi to watch Big Nog versus Big Country.
That's not a very healthy attitude in our
Big
sport.
Country has to turn this shit around. He cannot
Yeah,
get
he
beat
does.
by Big Nog.
No.
Because Eggnog cannot fucking... No. He needs to turn this guy into a fried egg for once and for all.
No, he
Get
needs
this
to
shit over
fucking...
with.
He needs to fucking hand him a pink slip after this because it's Dunsey. If
I
he
mean,
gets fucking dismantled, then you gotta have the pink slip waiting with the drool cup in his fucking locker. So,
And anybody that doesn't know what that means, that goes way back 2010, 2011. We had a show on that where it just
Awesome, thank you.
Big Nog was having some serious hard times, and I've never really seen him clearly come back from that. I really haven't. Yeah, sure, you get a win here and there. You beat Brendan Schaub. I'm not ragging on Brendan Schaub, but it's like Brendan Schaub is not top 10 competition here. So it's just,
you want to talk about a guy that's had more fucking injuries than any fucking fighter ever that's been in professional fighting. You're talking about multiple staph infections. He got his fucking elbow disintegrated by fucking Frank Mir,
Right.
It's
and
like,
where's Frank Mir? Frank Mir's not too far from where he is, I mean, we're talking, damn near. I would say Frank Mir is already gatekeeper status. He's not going anywhere near up.
Nope.
There's just too many damn good guys in UFC in the heavyweight division for Frank to go up.
That'd be great.
And like Big Nog and Frank, it's like it's Dana's like giving him the Tito Ortiz fucking treatment. He's got to like these guys a lot because he just lets keep fighting
because they're ready to go.
Fight.
Yeah.
That's a little bit motivated
if
for
you're going to keep doing this, like I've said before, create a senior league for these guys, or call it a Champions League, or whatever the fuck moniker you want to put on it. Having a developmental league, for like almost like the WEC was, instead of this tough shit. And then on the other end, you can have a Legends League.
Whoa.
Fuck, you can sell major shit on both. I'd watch it. Fuck, Randy Couture versus fucking Chuck Liddell. Let's fucking go. Yeah.
UFC Classic, UFC Classic division or something like that. I mean, which not like them guys are going to want to get back in here. I don't think Randy Couture or Chuck Liddell would want to get back in.
No,
but I hear what you're saying. It's a good example.
But you still have the Big Nogs and the Frank Mirs who think they're still fucking, they're viable in the fucking sport. Which you are, but not in the elite status. Fuck.
Yeah, no, it's almost It's really almost hard to watch because it's almost like I don't want to see you get your ass wrecked again. You
could put you could put your little show on your little. I'm going to talk myself into the victory show, and then get out there and do some defense a little bit and keep your guy at bay. But once he closes the gap, you're past. Few times we've seen it, you've just gotten dismantled.
It goes that way every fucking time, man.
It does. You're thrown against the cage, fucking beaten. And you just look like, somebody just fucking whipped a bunch of fucking ketchup packets at you, or you're on the losing end of a fucking jelly donut fight. It's like
somebody went into a fucking punchki shop and fucking started lobbing strawberry punchkis at your ass all day. But man, for just a quick minute here, man, we're gonna take a quick break and replenish some drinks. You guys do the same. Take a quick little intermission here. And we'll get right back to it in a flash here, but we'll be right back, man. Before we get back to it too deep, I want to go into something here real quick. People, this is cool news, but kind of bum me out news, I guess, at the same time. Sorel Diabate, Saturday night, Guillard Latifi actually pulled off a sweet submission. It was like I don't even know what you call it. He had that guy's head in so many fucked up positions, Diabate's head in so much fucked up positions, that Latifi is a very strong, powerful dude at that weight division. Sorel Diabate, 22-year combat sports career. I can't take anything away from the guy. Guy's had a awesome run. Always looked good. Always went gunning after it. Always running after it. So, but he said he's got a lot of stuff planned and he's moving on to other things. He said he's pretty much. He's like I fought in Pride. I fought in Strikeforce. I fought in UFC. He said I really can't argue with the career I've put on at this point. And he said I don't really have any reason to go on and which I'm sure he's talking about injuries and shit like that. And he can sustain long-term injuries. I'm sure he's pretty much talking about that. There's no reason to keep going on, fucking your neck up for life and fucking your, the chance of concussions and all that shit and the long-term effects. The guys, I think, fought pretty good careers, in the 22 years that he's been out there and come out pretty, I think a guy looks pretty good coming out of it is what I'm saying,
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So hats off, man. And
not many people could say that, those kind of accolades to be in that many organizations and be a successful fighter, because if he wasn't successful, we wouldn't be talking about a 22 year career. So yeah, hats off.
Yeah, big hats off. So one thing cool about some of the retirements, and I got to give the guy a lot of props for this, there are guys lined up to get in there and do what he's doing. And if he's in there, hanging around too long, taking up space for these guys that want to get in there and can still do it, and not saying Diabate can't do it. I think he's getting out at the perfect time. He's still got his wits about him. He's not in any trouble.
He's not on a 6-fight losing streak.
Right. He's going out on a great note, man. There's nothing wrong with the guy. The guy's in great shape. He's about, like I said, wits about him, everything. So, but there's a lot of guys, a lot of younger guys really coming up here looking to jump in the mix. It's a great time for him to get out because that just creates space for newer guys to get in, man. It's awesome, I think. It keeps a revolving door moving, you know what I mean? So I'm sure we can make an hour show out of that some guys that need to go and with due respect, there's a lot of guys that need to go.
Sometimes shit happens, right?
It's like I said, there's a lot of, look at Tito. Tito fucking should have been gone 3 years before he was gone.
Right.
It's like, that's where you come in with, was it a favoritism thing? How many fights do you have to lose?
I think it might have been I don't know. I think a lot of times it was all right, shut the fuck up. We'll give you a half-ass match. And if you can pull this out for some reason, we'll give you another half-ass match that you can say that you've accomplished all this stuff. Whatever. Just shut the fuck up. I don't know. It's probably some of that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, if you want, man, let's jump into this card. Give it a respectful ending, man, and we can bump out of here, man. Getting back to it, people. Pretty much, one thing I want to mention real quick, man. Luke Barnett taking on Mats Nilsson. Mats Nilsson 11-3. Luke 7-0 at the time. Fighting out of Sweden. It was 11-2 coming into this fight. A lot of people were in this guy's corner. A lot of people really, really liked him. The dude was given up about probably per hand 3-inch reach advantage, probably overall like a 6 or 7 inch reach advantage. But Luke Barnett looked really, really good, man. I can't take nothing away from the guy. Came into the fight 7-0. He's 8-0 now, proving himself against a guy that a lot of people really, really liked over there in England. He has a good name in England, shit like that. So TKO strikes, man, and right, about 35 seconds left for round one. Did a really good job for Luke Barnett, man. Gotta give the guy props, man. And he was in his hometown, so it was a cool fight to see. So he did a really good job. So I gotta give him hats off. They called it a neck crank. We just talked about Sorel Diabate. Like I said, hats off, man. Finishes out his career 19-10 and 1 no contest. I'm assuming, or 1 draw, whatever it may be. Was defeated by Ilir Latifi. Latifi coming into this fight 7-3. Not a amazing career, but this guy's very strong. A great center of gravity. The guy looks like a stockier, probably more muscular Daniel Cormier, in my opinion. I think this guy will make a stink when he gets a couple more fights under his belt. Guy looks really, really strong. I'm surprised he didn't do better against Gegard Mousasi. Not taking anything away from Gegard Mousasi. Mousasi did exactly what he had to do, and he collected this guy. That's why Gegard Mousasi is who he is. But Latifi had a full training camp, and it really didn't have a hard time with Diabate. And so hats off to Latifi, man. I'm actually pretty excited to see what this guy brings next. He wasn't cocky, he wasn't a dickhead. It was 3 minutes, 2 seconds for round one. Nasty ass neck crank. He just had a hold of Diabate's neck that was just like, you could tell Diabate was fucking in pain trying to ward this shit off. But anyway, man, it's a great performance. It was quick, man. It all went really fast. But Omari Ahkmedov taking on Gunnar Nelson. And Gunnar Nelson, I'll tell you, man, this, like I said in the last show when we talked about this card, Gunnar Nelson is a fucking sight to be seen, man. The way this guy does shit, he's almost more smooth and more fluent and just more relaxed than Lyoto Machida, if you could believe it. This guy, I think, is fucking a champion in the makings. You know, granted, the guy, he's 12-0, 12-0-1. It was a good matchup, too, because he was 11-0 coming in against the guy that's 12-1. I mean, in terms of records, you know. I expected a little bit more from Omari, but when you got a Gunnar Nelson, man, this guy is so crafty, so relaxed. He knows exactly what to do. He's got such a weird like when I say Lyoto Machida, it's because he looks like just a slightly different Lyoto Machida. You know, his style. You know, he was a very decorated wrestler at one point. Had a lot of Taekwondo in his background. You know, so I mean, there's some karate there. There's some wrestling, and the guy he really knows offensively. He really knows how to trick people into, okay, this is what you're thinking I'm going to do, but I'm not. I'm going to do this, and you're going to be in trouble. He mentioned in the post fight that he goes with what's going in the fight, you know, rather than make a game plan. But there's a lot of fighters out there that try to stick to the game plan, and that's what gets them in trouble. I think this guy really figured out what he needs to do with his own style, and he's got probably a great training camp behind him, because I don't think he's the kind of fighter that wants to do a game plan. He wants to go in there and feel out the fight. He's good enough to feel out the fight and see where it's going, you know, if he's not dictating where it's going. So the guy's, you know, and I've rambled on, but the guy's very exciting to watch, man. If you could check this fight out, man, go back and check it out. Omari Ahkmedov, I've seen this guy fight before. This guy can wreck dudes. This guy can fuck people up. And Gunnar Nelson had absolutely, positively no problem with this guy. I mean, no problem. Guillotine choke at 4 minutes 36 seconds of round one. So we're just outside of finishing round one, and he pulls off the guillotine win. Cinched in within a second. Omari had nowhere to go. You know, he knew he was fucking done. He tapped.
And total ego.
Very shortly after that. So, and he came off a year layoff at best. He came off a year layoff from a injury and took on a ready dude and fucking just totally controlled him and dominated him. Neil Seery, big name over there as well, man. A lot of people really like Neil Seery. It was his debut against Brad Pickett. This dude was actually really showing Brad Pickett some shit. You know, and Brad Pickett, you know, some people are making an argument that Brad Pickett needs to have another fight with the champion. Some people are saying that, you know, even him at number 6, he needs another shot against, you know, and I'm thinking, why? I think Demetrius would tear Brad Pickett up. I mean, don't get me wrong, man, but I think Brad Pickett beat him a couple of years ago. Forgive me if I'm wrong, people, but I think Pickett beat him a couple of years ago, and Johnson came back and just as he flourished and got better at what he does, he didn't even really need to fight Brad Pickett again to prove himself, because he'd gotten so far up the ladder, and now he's the champion. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Brad Pickett deserves a shot." Well, he's number 6, so he's got that many people knocking on the door ahead of him. You know, and plus you got a guy that's making his UFC debut, giving you a fucking run for your money. Which I shouldn't say a total run for your money, because Brad Pickett, you know, well, which we're talking about judges as well. It's 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. They had it across the board for Brad Pickett, but Neil Seery was not backing down. He was coming at this guy. You know, Seery was taking shots, but he was giving them too, man. This dude's no joke, man. I'm excited to see what he's going to do next in the UFC. Even though I don't think I think he's 34. And Brad Pickett's 35. I don't think either of these guys are really going to have a huge run left of them in the UFC at the age they are. You know what I mean? I've been proven wrong on that. Hey, shit, Dan, we've seen guys go in there age 38 and look great. Some go in there 37 and look horrible. So it's just the age range that it's not a good idea to. Maybe that's why people want to see Brad Pickett get in there. And I like Brad Pickett. I don't see a reason for him to get a title shot off of this fight, of somebody making a debut. I just don't see it. It don't make any sense to me. This is the guy's debut fight, and he's fighting Brad Pickett. Brad Pickett wins. How do you get a title shot off of someone's debut match? It makes no sense. Okay, getting back to it, man. Michael Johnson taking on Melvin Guillard. Going into this fight, I thought, you know what? Michael Johnson might be barking up the wrong tree. Because, I mean, I know Melvin Guillard, if he's in the right matchup, in the right mindset, you know, this guy's almost unstoppable. A little bit cocky, don't get me wrong, but a little, you know, not as bad. He's been humbled. You know, he's not as bad as he used to be, man. We saw him on the Tough Show. He looked like an asshole. But he's not, you know, I've not seen him like that in years. But Michael Johnson, on the other hand, I don't know, 2 years ago I would have called the guy a joke. You know what I mean? Not ragging on the guy. I just, you know, and upcoming fighters and shit like that coming off the Tough Show, whatnot, which they both come off the Tough Show. Totally different years, but Michael Johnson, I would not have thought at this point in time would be fighting a Melvin Guillard. Michael Johnson was the aggressor, which I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. Melvin Guillard was doing a lot of hanging back and being the counter-striker, which actually worked for a little bit and really kind of frustrated Johnson. I could tell that for sure. You could see that Johnson was getting frustrated in this fight. But it started to kind of work against Melvin Guillard when Michael Johnson started pressing forward, whether he was going to do a counter-strike or not. Michael Johnson started piecing shots together, putting combos together, and started really making shit happen. I think a lot of the judges saw that Guillard was just doing a lot of standing around and not doing much, but doing a lot of waiting. So it was pretty much across the board. Michael Johnson, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. It's a pretty unanimous decision. I don't know if I'd give it the same 29-28 across the board. I think Melvin did good in some spots, but Melvin just held back too much. He did not, you know, assert himself. He did not, you know, the offense, his offensive techniques were out the fucking window. I mean, really. And when he was doing them, it seemed like Michael Johnson was catching his ass on a lot of them. So it just, this was a really bad matchup for Melvin Guillard. And it just proves that Melvin Guillard, I think, if maybe he had an off training camp, who knows? Or maybe he's just, you know, there's not as much wind under his sails. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But Michael Johnson is a fucking train that cannot be stopped right now. Michael Johnson's, you know, we talked about in the last show.
Before that was Tebow. Before that, Joe Lozon.
Yeah, dude. That's Joe Lozon's
serious.
no joke. That day, that's some serious wins, man. Gleison Tebow ain't the best you've ever seen, but I mean, Gleison Tebow is ready to throw down. I mean, which this guy's looking for the knockout shot as well, just like anybody else, you know, that is looking for it. Michael Johnson is really, I think right now his past 3-4 wins, this guy's carving out. And Melvin Guillard, I think, is just the, you know, Melvin Guillard came off a loss to Joe Lozon, if I'm not mistaken. All I got to say is I'm pumped. You know, for this is one of the first or second, maybe third tough guys I've seen that I've been fucking overly excited about. Because usually when you have a tough show, there's like one or two decent guys that come out of it, and they wind up being middle of the road in a couple of years. This guy, I think, I don't know how many years it's been since he's been on the tough show, but I mean, this dude really is training with, you know, he's trained with the likes of Rashad. You know what I mean? He's trained with some guys that are just top-notch dudes, and I'm totally pumped to see what this guy pulls out next. Gustafsson coming in this fight, he had no choice. I gotta do what I gotta do to win this fight. I think there was a little bit of surprise going on there coming in the second round, because the first round he took him down, you know, maybe a minute in or so. A minute in, he took him down and pretty much just controlled him. You know what I mean? Controlled him, landed a couple shots here and there, threw some elbows, you know, whatnot. And Manuwa wasn't really receiving anything really bad. You know what I mean? I don't think it was anything really devastating. It was just a lot of control, and you ain't going nowhere. You're going to be tired when you get up. He was trying to tire him out, I think. That's kind of what my take on it was. Going to the second round, though, game plan changed up a little bit.
Shit, a lot bit at the end.
Yeah. It was a little bit of the same for the first, you know, little bit. First 3 minutes or so was a bit of the same. of the first round. Just stay in there, strike with him, get out of the way. Gustafsson's got great movement. Some of it looks a little unorthodox, which I think it kind of helps him a little bit. He's just got weird movement. He doesn't look like a straight ahead boxer, which I think helps him. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like somebody you'd see at a light heavyweight boxing match. He
stays on his toes like a boxer, hops around, which is good.
Yeah. But I mean, he doesn't look like just a textbook boxer. You know what I mean?
No.
He's all over the place. He's weird. You don't know what to expect.
Open stance, kind of like a kickboxer, almost maybe. Kind of like a wide stance.
Yeah. And when he opened up, I mean, there was no going back, man. I pretty much had my rundown of that, man. Fucking put your take on it, man. Put your stink on it. We'll get out.
Well,
of here.
the rundown is that this fucking guy was just fucking food for the fucking lion, dude. Really, he's good, but he's not upper echelon, upper tier good. And right now, Gus and Bones, they're the two top guys, man. We've seen when they fought, they're fucking equal, mano-y-mano. It took decision, and people were fucking bitching about that too, about, hey, Gus should have won. It was up for debate, but we've said it before. You want to fucking beat the champion, do not let it go to the cards.
Right.
Take his ass out. We won't have the discussion. And all comers that are coming to the belt should have that in their fucking mind on the judges that they're dealing with. Old school boxing judges mostly. They're going to think like that. So fucking do what you got to do to knock out, submit, or end the fucking fight before it gets in the hands of the judges. That's all I got to say about that. But the next fight that they're going to have, the collision course that you said Dana already announced, is going to be a badass fight. And I could see, like I said before, Gus learned from his loss, and like you said, Jones learned from the win. He learned from fighting Gus. So when they collide again, it's going to be edge of your seat, by all means, whatever it takes. You got to be there to watch it. Collision course. It's
sick as hell, man. And one thing I can say coming out of this fight, I'm excited to see still, even though that's the one thing I had going into this fight, is Manuwa has not faced the competition that Gustafsson has. Looking at Manuwa as an undefeated fighter, him coming in here, he's probably thinking, you know what? This is just the one fight that's going to get me up to the top. I'm not saying he didn't take it seriously, but there might have been just a little pinch of that. Hey, I'm fucking so good right now. I'm undefeated. When I get in there in the thick of the thin, in the thick of things, nobody can fucking beat me. He probably had a little bit of that on his shoulder. Who knows? But I think he was probably pretty confident going into this. Some of his striking said that. But he's in there with a guy that's faced a host of competition that's over and above him, really, I think.
Yeah.
And, but I'm excited to see what Jimmy Manuwa does coming off this loss, getting back into training, and find out really, am I with the trainers that I need to be with? Do I need to switch up camps? What do I need to do to accelerate my career in the UFC, going in there, my next fight 14-1, and solidifying myself.
Well, he's going to have to get another top-tier opponent, a top opponent to say, hey, I am here. You can't just go back down and start fighting the schlubs again, or the no-namers. You got to keep, now that you're here, you got to stay up here is what I'm trying to say. No, I'm not saying get any more title contenders, but there's a whole slew of guys that have just gotten dismantled that you can take on. So,
yeah, I say right now, give him a 9 or a 10 because he got a number one contender, in my opinion, and he did not do very good.
No.
So I would say give him a number 9 or a number 10.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of guys that he could have fought that he would have had a real hard time with before getting to Gustafsson. But they made the matchup, and how do we know it wouldn't have went differently? I mean,
it's a bullshit match. That's what I was saying. It's fucking the poor guy was meat to the lions. He was thrown to the lion. He might be better in a few years, but he hasn't fought anybody of substance. They don't want to get fucking, in my opinion, don't want to get Gus all fucked up or injured. They don't want him getting beat because they want that pay-per-view. And no matter if it was Jones saying maybe he should fight DC and said, no, Dana wants this fucking fight. He knows the money while it's hot.
Oh,
While
yeah.
it's still in fucking the back of people's minds of their last fight. He wants to get this cash grab because he knows the possibility of the record fucking pay-per-view. If he puts this fight at the right time and spot after, fucking Jones dismantles Teixeira, which we both think will happen, when is the accurate time to make this pay-per-view where he's going to make the ultimate amount of money and he's going to break the records? Yep. Because this is going to be a record breaker right here, dude.
It really will be, man. It really will be. The one thing I can say is they put him in there with an undefeated guy. I got to give him that. They put him in. They put Gustafsson in there with an undefeated guy, but at the same time, was an undefeated guy that has not fought on the same level. Yeah. Like I mentioned,
he beat Larry Moe and Curly and Shemp and Curly Joe. Fucking, Yeah. And I'm not trying to down the guy, but compared to the type talent that fucking Gus has been fucking dismantling, they're Larry, Curly, Moe, Joe, and fucking Bro and whoever,
Yeah.
compared to those guys. So,
but yeah, I mean, I think I'm so looking forward to Gustafsson Jones too, and I think that's probably one of the damn coolest fights that's going to be of 2014.
Right up there, I maybe even over Machida and Weidman coming up too, Weidman. So.
Oh yeah, shit! I wasn't even thinking of that one. That's going to be huge too, man. That's going to be huge. I'm kind of thinking Gustafsson Jones might be a little bit bigger though. I gotta say that, man. In terms of overall, not just me, but overall, But shit, man.
Jones himself brought a whole new fan base in with him. Love him or hate him, even if it's his haters or whatever that want to see him lose, or his backers. They're both going to be watching the fight for a vested interest. So
yeah, very true, man. Very true. But shit, man. If you're ready to go, man, get us the fuck out of here.
All right, man. Steadfast.
And God beer. LegalMobileRadio.com. MMA Aftermath on Facebook. We're out of here.
Later.